There's no One Piece this week, so we're gonna try to supplement that with some different topics, exciting topics. And today I'm in a particularly good mood. Not sure why, but we're gonna talk about something that I posted on Twitter, and that was the whole purpose of it, to talk about it in a video. I didn't say that was the purpose, but you know, that's how we're gonna do things sometimes. Just put things out there and see how people react to it. So if you guys like to participate in things like this going forward, make sure to follow me on Twitter at BravoDAs, because you know, things like this are gonna happen a lot more frequently, right? Where I put things out there, little feelers, and just see how people react to it. So the question I asked: who could be a captain of their own crew except for Zoro? Now, the reason why I singled out Zoro is not because I don't like Zoro. Contrary to belief, I like him a lot. The reason why I said except or other than Zoro is because I know Zoro would be a popular pick. And the reason why Zoro would be a popular pick is because throughout the story, it's referenced times where people thought Zoro was a captain based on just his demeanor and just literally how he carries himself. He has the presence of someone that could be a captain. Obviously, it's a way to not only hype Zoro, but also hype his captain in Luffy. I wanted to leave Zoro out, even though I don't think Zoro is necessarily a great leader. I think he's competent as a leader. I think it'd be good. As far as great, I'm not sure about that. I mean, the direction thing, that's a gag, but I think as far as leading people, you probably should know where to go, but that's not a big deal at all. I think Zoro would be a good leader. Like, don't get me wrong. That's jokes. I think he'd be a good leader at the end of the day, but because he'd be a popular pick, I left him off. Another thing, if you were a former captain, obviously you could be a captain, right? And I guess when people saw that, they felt like a competent captain, a good captain. So of course, Jinbei was mentioned. And this is a gray area. Marco was mentioned as well, a lot. For me, I'm not including those two personally because Jinbei was a captain before and Marco technically, he was a captain of the Whitebeard Pirates post Whitebeard. So those two are kind of ruled out. Other characters that I'm just not going to include in my list, and it's a top 5, by the way. We're going to do a top 5 every week. We're going to try to do a top 5 every week for the next 5 weeks. So the Admirals, right? We could see the Admirals leading their crew. Like, they're strong enough. They have enough charisma. They could do it. So the Admirals are left out. Dragon, he's left out. He leads an entire organization. Obviously, he could lead his own crew. And some of the older generation legends, right? Like, Rayleigh was mentioned a lot. I think Ben Beckman was mentioned as well. So those two I'm leaving out, but I think everybody else is fair game. Of course, other characters we can kind of weed out here and there. Usopp, I mean, technically he was a captain before, if you want to go there, but Usopp is still in the running. But this is my top 5, and my top 5 is a bit skewed. It isn't just characters that I think could lead their own crews and be really successful at it, but also characters I would like to see lead their own crew, like seeing them travel the seas, recruiting different people. And a fun thing I think I could do one time is try to like pick a character in the story and then fill out their crew with other characters in the story based on his character. I think these people would work well together with him, and obviously they can't be from the same organization. So for instance, Bartolomeo, rounding out that crew with people that I think could support him and be great with him, that could be fun. But that's not what we're here for today. I'm going to give you my top 5, right? First, because this video is kind of 2 parts. Give you my top 5 characters I think could lead their own crews. And then the second part of it, we're going to go to Twitter and we're going to see the best comments and the best responses that people gave in regards to people that could lead their own crews, because there's some really good ones. But without further ado, let's get into my number 5. And for that person, I have as Smoker. Now, Smoker is a Marine, so it's really difficult using Marines and trying to, you know, project them as a pirate. But for Smoker, sometimes he carries himself like a pirate. Like, Smoker is one of those Marines that if he didn't have on a Marine uniform, you would think he was a pirate. It was this huge thing on Twitter, but not a huge thing, but I quote tweeted someone who referenced Smoker's introduction on Twitter. That could be next week's top 5, the best introductions in One Piece. But they referenced Smoker's introduction in regards to kind of how in that moment Smoker dispelled some of that, right? Where with this little girl, her ice cream fell, and Smoker's showing, even though he looks like a monster, that he has a soft side. And we've seen that throughout the story, right? Where Smoker goes out of his way to help people with law in his heart, in ways turning a blind eye to Luffy, which people would say, well, that doesn't make him a good Marine. But yeah, it makes him a good person and a person of high morals, right? Let's not even start with Punk Hazard, how he put himself on the line for his people, for his men, and they follow him into battle with no qualms. Smoker is an amazing leader. I think his form of justice is the best in One Piece, and that's not what we're going to get into today, but I think Smoker in general, he would be amazing, I think, as a pirate and filling out his crew. I think he's a great judge of character. Number 4, we have Shiryu. Now, on the side of Smoker, right, a good person, someone that's noble, someone that I think is a great leader, you have people like Shiryu, who was the head jailer of Impel Down. And I think while he would be more so of the person who would captivate people with his charisma, his would be based off of killing people and how well he does that. Shiryu's introduction was not that, groundbreaking or anything, but he has the demeanor, he has the look, he has the aesthetic of someone that could be a very maniacal and menacing pirate captain. And of course, he would gather people of the same vein, which would make for a very intimidating pirate crew. Again, Shiryu, I think, is one of the more underrated characters in regards to strength in One Piece, simply because he's not the captain of the first ship for the Blackbeard pirates, where I'm like, Blackbeard is obviously mimicking Whitebeard in that way, where Odin wasn't the captain of the first ship, he wasn't the first commander, I guess, for Whitebeard, and he was the strongest commander Whitebeard had. So I think with Shiryu, seeing him lead his own crew, pretty much decapitating people as he goes along, that would be amazing. Now for people, I want you to put your top 5 in the comment section. Who are the 5 characters you think could not only lead their own crews, but the ones you'd want to see? Because I think that would be great, right? Just want to see and go through you guys' responses. And when I stream this weekend, I'll look through those responses and we can talk about it, right? But personally, I think Shiryu would be a great captain and just really entertaining to watch. Like if One Piece was probably a seinen, he would be a great rival to whoever the MC is, because it'd be a bit more dark as a series. His sword has to eat, right? Number 3 is a weird one, and it's a special one because it's 2 characters, and that's the reason why it's number 3. It's Sanji and Nami, and I think those are the 2 best leaders on the Straw Hats. And when I say leaders, I think logical leadership, right? Leadership in which you can point at things and say, well, logically based on the real world and how things operate, this person would be an amazing leader on paper. I think Luffy is obviously the best leader, right, in regards to what the One Piece is and how One Piece operates. He has a special power and all that, but I think in regards to just accolades and things they do for the crew, those are the 2 best leaders. Now, why I would like to see them as captains of their own crew. First, for Sanji, him being a captain of his own crew, there's an obvious drawback here, right? He does not fight women. So I think that would be something you'd have to sift through. And for Sanji, it'd be great to see who he picks as his right-hand man or woman. Does he fill out his crew with all women? When he goes up against an antagonist that's a woman, how would that crew overcome that specific situation? That would be fantastic to see someone try to write around that, because that's pretty much the core of his character. He does not hit women, but how can you operate an entire crew when you don't hit women? And then you'd have to fill out his crew with people that do that, but that goes against his moral code. So it would be an interesting thing to see. Other than that, Sanji's a great leader. He's someone that's, he steps up when he needs to, logical, reliable, and thoughtful. And of course, he's an amazing chef. So I think Sanji would be great. On Nami's side, Nami does the same thing Sanji does. Of course, she's a navigator. She thinks, she's a great support. For Nami, the interesting thing would be, how do they overcome everything with her being the captain while not being the primary fighter? So for her being, say she's the MC, Nami would have to navigate through the seas of One Piece, and I'm speaking, somewhat metaphorically, without having overwhelming strength and having people that follow her who are the primary fighters of the crew. But you'd have to establish why they're following her. And we'd have to get to the point where Nami's probably supporting her best fighters to overcome some of these great antagonists. So other than aesthetic for Nami as well, I think that would be a great thing to see. And she steps up when needed. So in that case, I would love to see Nami as a captain of a crew. Number 2, this wasn't that hard, honestly, in regards to number 2, and that's Sabo. And the reason why I'd like to see Sabo is because not only because of the ASL Pirates, right? I think they would have been either a fantastic crew together, or if Sabo had made it to sea, he would have been an amazing captain himself. Sabo's a very interesting character for a variety of reasons, but for me, I think his disposition it's different, right? From what you expect from like a happy-go-lucky shonen series. He sometimes has like a maniacal look on his face, right? When he was about to kill Burgess, when he was disposing of Burgess, honestly, in a different show, you thought he would kill him. Of course, Burgess was antagonizing him with the ace thing, and then Burgess tried to swing on him. He dodged it. So it was a lot of things going on there, but Sabo, he has this intense rage, or rather a controlled rage, that I would like to see flourish as an MC. And Sabo is competent, he's very strong, and he's fairly intelligent. So seeing someone like that operate, and again, I would like for him to have the Murmur no Mi, and if Ace was alive, Ace wouldn't make this list obviously because he was a captain already, but that would be amazing to see. Sabo as a captain, I think he's perfect for the role, and he has all the qualities that would make for a great leader as well. It's obvious to a lot of people, but probably the next leader of the revolutionaries. And number 1, which was honestly Twitter's overwhelming pick as well, is Katakuri. Katakuri. Katakuri, from everything he showed in Whole Cake, displayed everything it takes to be a leader. I think his vision for the Big Mom Pirates, his sacrifice, making the hard decisions. Essentially, Katakuri did what it took to make the Big Mom family successful. I think he exemplifies exactly what it takes to make a great leader. One thing, or one possible flaw in this thing with Katakuri, is whether or not he would want to, right? And his overall will. Personally, I think it takes a lot of will to commit yourself to a role like Katakuri did in Whole Cake Island. I think Katakuri would be the #1 person other than the Rayleighs and the Ben Beckmans. We need to learn more about Ben Beckman, but I think he'd be perfect as a pirate captain. And some people do foresee Katakuri leading the Big Mom Pirates at some point in the future. But for right now, he's my #1. But that's not the end. Let's go to Twitter and let's look at some of the best responses that I got. At GOAW said, I think Chopper could lead his own crew, the Cotton Candy Pirates. I'm not sure about that one. Chopper, I'm not sure how far he would go. It's hilarious though. Again, Sanji was a popular pick as well. At World Dominion, the Trick of the Light said Gin. And that's, of course, Don Krieg's right-hand man. He would be great. I just don't know if we've seen enough from him to kind of say he'd be a great captain. But I would like to see it. That would actually be pretty dope. People mentioned Brook as well, but Brook has been a captain before. So for him, he's kind of disqualified for me. But I think he'd be cool. I mean, obviously. But the comment was, you know, he's been a captain before. Reason #2, he's a huge fan base because he's a Soul King. Reason #3, he instantly has some clout for fighting Big Mom 1v1 and surviving. Reason #4, he's immortal equals more clout. Immortal, I'm not sure about that. Brook can definitely die, but yeah. At Trig the Icon mentioned Wiper. I think Wiper would be a great pick as well. I think Wiper is somebody that I thought would have joined the crew. But Wiper, Ichiji, and Sanji, I think those are good picks. Ichiji would be interesting as far as him leading the Vinsmoke into the future. But yeah, I really like the Wiper pick. At Chiji_ says that's really broad, but I said Mihawk and any of the Admirals would be Yonko caliber captains just to narrow things down. The first commanders we've seen would be formidable captains in their own right. On the Straw Hat specifically, I suppose Jinbei. I'm going to address the Mihawk one. I think Mihawk would be a good captain. I think he obviously has charisma. Strength is not a problem whatsoever. For right now, I think it's just a personality thing with Mihawk. Would Mihawk want to do this? Mihawk in general, has he ever had a pirate crew himself? Those are small things I think about in regards to Mihawk, but I think he would be a great pick if we knew more about him. Le Demon Celeste says Koza, Marco, Mihawk, Katakuri, Mr. 1, and Virgo. Koza is interesting as well because Koza was doing his thing, you know, there with Vivi. Virgo would be cool as hell. I'm not gonna lie, the bamboo pirates, right? Where all of them have like using bamboo in a specific way, that'd be amazing. And finally, Loudmouth Ryan says this might be out there, but I would seriously be down for a one-shot spin-off of Frankie's crew. His attitude plus already skill of being a gang leader will show itself in his crew. He'd also have some dope crewmates. I would not mind that at all because in my fanfic, Frankie is definitely recruiting Senior Pink. So yeah, trying to fill out the crews of these people would be fun as hell. Let me know which character you think would be the perfect one to fill out their crew. So yeah, guys, leave your thoughts below and leave a character you would like for me to fill out their crew. Like say it's Frankie, Usopp, Katakuri. Pick a character and I'll put it on Twitter and I'll make a video talking about the other characters that would support Katakuri on his quest to become the Pirate King. So yeah, leave your thoughts. Like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at RocketAce, like I said. Follow me on Instagram at rockety.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.